are from the Philippines and you're planning to take up law, it is a requirement that you first pass the PhiLSAT or the Philippine Law School Admission Test, aside from the law school admission exam, which is administered by the law school that you wish to enter. It might be overwhelming for some, and to help you ease your worry, I hope this video will be informative enough in giving some tips on how to pass the PhiLSAT. Know the test coverage. Knowing the right test coverage will give you an idea of what to review and what to expect during the exam day. If you are not yet familiar with the test coverage, you may visit the PhiLSAT website, that's www.philsat.com.ph. It's the same website which you have accessed when you registered for the exam. And for those who haven't registered yet, you may register until August 16, 2019, and the payment is until August 18, 2019. Under the Bulletin of Information found on their website, you will see the brief description of the test. It says, PhiLSAT consists of subtests on communications and language proficiency, critical thinking, verbal reasoning, and quantitative reasoning. I'm going to give you a brief background on these subjects based on my experience. Under communications and language proficiency, that involves grammar corrections and sentence errors, so that's basically English. Communications and language proficiency measures the ability to recognize grammar and usage errors and determine the appropriateness of words and phrases in given sentences. It consists of 3 question types, namely identifying sentence errors, sentence completion, and improving sentences. Next, we have critical thinking. This subtest measures the ability to analyze and evaluate reasoning in written materials and to draw conclusions about given propositions. Critical thinking consists of 2 question types, namely logical reasoning and analytical reasoning. Next is verbal reasoning. This measures the ability to understand written materials and make conclusions based on their content. This subtest consists of reading passages followed by questions about the passage. In this particular subtest, you are given a number of selections and you would need to answer 2 to 4 questions based on what you have read. Verbal reasoning then tests one's reading comprehension. Last, we have quantitative reasoning. This subtest measures the ability to apply basic mathematical skills to the analysis and interpretation of real-world numerical information to draw conclusions. This subtest consists of 3 question types: pattern recognition, data sufficiency, and data interpretation. You would need to familiarize yourself with the basic mathematical concepts and data interpretation. There would be no complicated equations involved. Now that we know the test coverage of the PhiLSAT, it would be easier for us to determine which materials should we use for our review. Gather the right study materials. When I took the PhiLSAT, I only have limited review materials because PhiLSAT then was just implemented. I don't have the time to attend refresher course because I was busy writing my thesis back then. I used the MSA reviewer, my old textbooks in the undergrad, some old college notes, and the practice booklet which you can find from the PhiLSAT website. This MSA reviewer is from the National Bookstore, and this is the same study material that I used for my college entrance exam in 2013. You might be wondering why I use such an old reviewer, but the coverage of PhiLSAT are somehow similar to the contents of this reviewer, specifically in math and English, or in PhiLSAT, that's quantitative reasoning and communications and language proficiency. To brush up some lessons, especially in math where I do bad, I use use this old college algebra book of mine from my first year first semester days in college. I likewise use my statistic textbook as review material for data sufficiency, logic book from second year for critical thinking, and some grammar books. If you have your old notes with you, make sure to use it as well. What more effective study material do you have aside from your own notes, right? Here, I have my old notes from my English 1 class in college to brush up on grammar. Lastly, make sure to download the practice booklet found in the PhiLSAT website. If I remember it correctly, we only have one practice booklet back then, but now 2 sets of practice booklets are posted on their website. Set a study schedule. Having a study schedule set will help you reviewing. Personally, I rank the subjects according to where I excel the most and where I don't. This helped me follow a study schedule where I could spend a lot more time on subjects where I need to build up my stock knowledge. I know some of you are graduating students, if not, working, and you have to find time studying for PhiLSAT at the same time. Fret not, because I have a simple yet effective study routine that will help you manage your time. Back then, I allot 1 hour and 30 minutes to 2 hours daily in reading textbooks and notes. This time is allotted for me to refresh my knowledge and study some common types of questions that are more likely to appear in the exam. After which, I allot 45 minutes to 1 hour for pause test where I answer some questions on the practice booklet. This will help you measure your improvements and how much you need to study more. This sample study schedule might be short, but doing this daily will do you good. Build up your stock knowledge. Studying for the PhiLSAT doesn't mean you have to start from zero. Unlike other aptitude tests, PhiLSAT is much easier because it does not include science and other advanced lessons in math. For quantitative reasoning, you don't really have to deal with complicated equations and problems. If you know the PEMDAS, the steps in getting percentage, interpreting data in statistics, like getting the mean, median, and mode, then you are good to go. For communications and language proficiency, review your subject verb agreement, tenses, and parts of speech. For critical thinking, you would need to familiarize yourself with the important logical and analytical concepts. And for verbal reasoning, you would have to improve your reading speed and work on how you analyze a given selection or passage. There is really no need to memorize for the PhiLSAT. The key is to refresh your memory and familiarize yourself with the concepts. Develop speed reading. Based on my experience, verbal argument questions are sometimes tricky. There would be paragraphs with so much facts, but you will only be asked 2 or sometimes 3 questions. Honestly, reading the selections will take you time. Do not run out of time answering questions. The key is speed reading. I don't know if it will work for everyone, but what I did was, when the paragraphs are really long, I read the question first so I would have an idea of the fact that I need to take note of while I'm reading the text. Lastly, you would have to practice your test-taking skills. This last tip that I have for you is to practice and assess your test-taking skills. Using a timer while answering practice booklets will help you get comfortable with the test-taking process. It's like you mimic the process until you are familiar with the pace and answering all the questions within the set time period. When the actual test comes, you won't find yourself scrambling for time. Remember not to let time pressure get your way. Those are the study tips that I can share with you. I hope that you'll find them useful, and I wish you well on your upcoming test. If you feel like I left out some informations or some study tips, you may leave them on the comment box below. I want to hear out from your experience.
Good luck, aspiring lawyers! Thanks for watching!